Daily, Tyrone Keys helps others receive the same opportunity he was given. An SEC's 75th anniversary story of character.
Let's take a look at our All-State Good Hands flashback. The last time Alabama lost in the regular season as number one was all the way back in 1980. Tied 3-3 late in the fourth quarter. Dana Moore's 22-yard field goal put the Bulldogs up by 3. Alabama marched down to the 2-yard line, but Tyrone Keys hit quarterback Don Jacobs. It forced the fumble. Mississippi recovered and ended Alabama's 28-game win streak.
Attention for his post-career work and seems especially proud of his recognition as one of the SEC's 75th anniversary stories of character and his induction into the MSU Education Hall of Fame.
Our first award this evening is usually presented by Ted Rubenstein, the brother of our late executive director, Michael Rubenstein. Regretfully, Ted is unable to be here this evening, but the award is named in Michael's honor and is given to someone who has made a lasting impact on local, state, or a national level. Tyrone Keys, a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2009, is this year's winner. 25 years ago, this 7-year NFL veteran established the All-Sport Community Service Incorporated. Since that time, ASCS has raised millions of dollars to aid those looking for mentors in both the Tampa Bay and the Mississippi areas. ASCS is a way to highlight the power of educators to bring a multicultural, intergenerational mentor model to bear fruit for families, communities, and the world. At an early age, Tyrone recognized those that helped him along his path to manhood. Now he is working to provide mentorship and guidance to those young people in need of a push in the right direction. Tyrone is the 7th to receive this award, joining former winners Dave Boo Ferris, Ben Puckett, Archie Manning, George Bryan, Governor William Winter, and Ron Polk.
It was a proud moment 9 years ago to be inducted into this Hall of Fame there and have my teachers to come. And I just never forget as a kid watching all the Super Bowl games and watching Monday Night Football, and my mom said, "It's time to go to bed." But I said, "No, Mom, I want to play pro football one day."
Short track by Kaiser, carried by Tyrone Keys. At the 42-yard line, number 5 on the day, Tyrone Keys.
And I never would have ever thought that when my dad took me outside to kind of throw the ball around, that this ball would have taken me places. But I want to tell young students, the ball without education and without the proper mentoring is a disaster.
2 seasons and 20 wins later, the Bears traded for Keys, who spent the 83, 84, and 85 seasons in Chicago, where fellow Mississippian Walter Payton took him under his wing.
Well, definitely, when I went there, I never forget meeting Walter Payton, and of course I grew up watching Walter Payton, and I appreciate him for taking me up under his wings and showing me the ropes, the do's and the don'ts of a big city like Chicago. What I remember about the Super Bowl Shuffle, I remember Richard Dent let me listen to the musical to it, and I'm thinking, this is sound good.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
We lost to the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football in one of the most watched football games ever at that time. And after that game, we said, forget all of this, we're going to go do the Super Bowl Shuffle. We're going to make a commitment. And we made a commitment. We went to the studio that next day, which was Tuesday. And we got there in the studio at about 10 o'clock. And we recorded it. It took about 4 or 5 hours. And we recorded the Super Bowl Shuffle and released it the next week. And everybody thought we were like crazy for doing it. But I think it was like 6 weeks before the Super Bowl. And we did it, and it was a big hit. But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Super Bowl Shuffle was, if you listen to Walter Payton's lyrics, we're not doing it because we're greedy. We're doing it to feed the needy.
We're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
And that was to raise a lot of money for the families in Chicago to feed them and clothe them during the winter months.
This was earlier today in the Bear locker room as the Bears packed in preparation to go to New Orleans for the Super Bowl engagement with the Patriots. That's Tyrone Keys getting his gear together. We're just hard by the side of that locker room. We're in the weight room of the Bears.
This time is where Buddy Ryan has a new wrinkle, and that is to put Tyrone Keys in on passing down. They have Tyrone Keys. That was part of their package. That was part of the scheme. He's 6'8". And he batted it down.
The best thing about that day was the last fumble.
Third down, 11 yards to go for Dieter Brock and company. Brock back to pass, the rush on for and hammered down. He got the ball. Picked up by Wilbur Marshall. Marshall running across the goal. Go. 20. This all the way. Touchdown. What a goal. Oh, man. What a way to end. Oh. Wilbur Marshall has scored for the Chicago Bears.
Tyrone is a player in the video and a valuable defensive end on the field. The Bears shuffled all the way to the Super Bowl 20 title following the '85 season.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest team in NFL history, the 1985 Chicago Bears. Now, I know that may get me into some trouble in some cities that I visit, but I believe it is the truth. Cynics might say that I'm only hosting the '85 Bears today because the Green Bay Packers were here a couple months ago, and I was not going to be outdone. But as it turns out, after this team won the Super Bowl, it never had a chance to celebrate here in the White House. The day after Super Bowl 20, 500,000 Chicagoans turned out in 25 below wind chill weather to welcome the champs back from New Orleans. But sadly, the day after that, we endured a national tragedy as the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after liftoff. And so the moment for the Bears to visit the White House was postponed, and the years went by. But shortly after I took office, someone at the NFL realized, hey, there's a Bears fan living in the White House. And they called my staff and asked if we could make this happen. And so today I'm proud to say to the players
to the coaches, to the staff of the 1985 Bears, welcome to the White House for this well-deserved and long overdue recognition.
I think we were just a group of guys that came together at a point in time that really loved the game and really loved each other. We had so much passion for the game and so much pride in what we did.
In week 11 in Dallas, the Bears played more passionately than ever. It was the student versus the teacher.
Tom Landry always understood that Coach Ditka respected him. We wanted to play as hard and as physical as we possibly could, but we wanted to do it with class.
I mean, they were America's team. It changed in a big way that day.
White backpedals underneath his crossbar, fires right side of the ball, picked in the air by Hampton, picked up by Pitts, straight to the end zone, touchdown!
Cowboys were shut out for the first time in 15 years. It was the worst loss in franchise history.
And back to Phil Hogeville, has to get in the way to hurry over the middle, intercepted by Richardson, 35-30 down the right side of the 20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Mike Richardson of the Chicago Bears.
Their offense could do nothing against our defense. Nothing. You know, I had to tell Buddy call off the dogs, but they have a right to have fun.
And Buddy just tell, hey, you know, you, I run the defense, get out of here.
The Bears did ease up, but by then it was too late. When it was over, the student was just as crushed as his teacher.
I never felt worse in my life when he came up and said, you guys are good. And you know, I said, Coach, I'm sorry. He said, you guys are good. That's all I said.
The Bears were division champions. At 11-0, they were undefeated, led by a defense that was unblockable.
I can still see it in slow motion when Wilbur Marshall picks up the ball. The Fridge is leading him down the field, and we all are just running with him.
Fridge ain't losing no ground now. He's right with him.
You can't write a script for this, you know, just the way it all ended.
Not to get theatrical, but I mean, how better can you write a script here for crying out loud?
And the snow starts coming down, and the fans went absolutely crazy.
The Bears were going to their first Super Bowl. Mike Ditka's thoughts turned to Papa Bear George Halas, the man who had hired him to get them there.
And I think right there, the old man was saying, we've come full circle, guys. We've come full circle. That's the first time since '63.
Call me sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like Mickey Moore Mance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shot.
And without the proper mentoring, it's a disaster. So I encourage the young people that they have to develop character, because football by itself is a non-transferable skill. But you can take everything that you learn from the coaches and the teachers, you can take with you and you can apply it, and you can parlay the game from the playing field to the game of life, and then come back and help the next generation on their journey.